Hey, Sarah Wells Rowland here. So, what I'm going to do today is center, open, and pull a cylinder with 3 pounds of clay. Let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is put a little moisture on the bat if you're using a Medex bat. You don't want it wet, but if you don't put a little moisture on there, the clay will pop off. Now I'm making sure that the bottom of this clay that I'm going to put on the bat is a little rounded, because when I slam it down, it'll push all the air out. And you want your clay to be as close to center on the bat as you can get it. And that is good right there. Now, with 3 pounds of clay, you're going to use a little bit more wheel speed than you would with 1 pound to center it up. But I'm going to use the exact same techniques with my hands as I did with the 1 pound of clay. I'm going to push down with the heel of my palm and hold my hand bent with the heel here and my fingers holding center. And I'm going to keep a sponge in my hand as I do it. So I'm going to pick that wheel speed up. And look, I'm not going to move with the clay. I'm going to push the clay down with the heel of my palm right here and make it go on center. Now I'm going to squeeze it in just a little bit. And as I do, it starts to come up. And the heel of my palm is going to stay pushed down a little bit on the top while my fingers are pushing inward. So this is pushing down while this is squeezing up, and it keeps it from having a big hole in the top of it. Now I'm going to put my hand on top, hold my fingers against this clay. Notice how firmly braced I am against my legs and my ribs. You don't want your arms moving at all. And I'm going to push it back down, and it is fully on center and compressed. I'm going to push it down a little wider, and now it's time to open. I'm going to push 2 fingers against my thumb here, and 2 fingers on top, and push down in till it looks like about 1/4 of an inch of clay on the bottom, and pull back a little bit, and then I need to measure it with my needle tool. I'm pushing it in and bringing it out, and that is like 1 inch of clay, a whole inch, way too much. That'll present all kinds of problems. So I'm going to push down right in the center and bring that clay back to the side and make this floor narrower. I want it to be about 1/4 of an inch. Still too much. I'm at a good, almost just a little bit less than 1/2 an inch. I'm going to bring more out and more out until I get that floor right. There it is. Now, I'm going to compress. If this was the floor, I'm going to compress with my 2 fingers across that floor evenly and get that floor good and firm. So I'm on the outside of the circle, and I'm going to push down and all the way to the center, hold my finger at the center point, and back out again to the side. And I'll move in and out with that motion, creating a perfectly level floor. All right, now I'm going to grab this clay, and this is a little bit of a different technique how I start pulling. I'm going to pull up with this part of my hand and this part of my hand, and I'm going to hold my thumbs over the top. So I'm squeezing inward. My pinky right here and here is up under the clay. My thumbs are holding the wall tightly. I'm going to pick my wheel speed up and bring that clay up. Notice how fixed my hands and body are. They are not moving, holding center the whole time. That too is a tricky move. It's not that easy, but if you'll practice it, I guarantee you'll get it. Okay, I'm going to push in against the bat a little bit and inward, and I want to feel this going around perfectly on center, which means there's no movement like this. It's just smooth all the way around. And once I have that, I'm going to start up and pick your wheel speed up to do this. Up, 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 up we go, up we go, up we go, all the way to the top and compress down just a little bit. Let's see what we have now. The outside diameter is 4 1/4, inside diameter is 3, and it's 5 1/2 inches tall. Your assignment, if you choose to accept it, is to try to do this. I'm going to push in again, and up I go, up, up, full revolutions around. Make sure you're all the way around before you move up, because if you're not, it's going to look like this. Let me show you. See those big throwing rings in there? That means you're pulling up way too fast for your wheel speed. You want to balance your rate of pull. So it's around and up, 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 around and up. And I know that's monotonous, but look at how close together the throwing rings are. And I'm just going to keep doing that all the way up. My inside fingers are right here, pushing out just a little bit, and my outside finger is just bringing the clay up. I get to the top. There's a little pressure inward, and there's my cylinder. Let's measure it. I've got 8 1/2 inches. I'm going to take it up some more. Now, when you get taller, you have to keep your arm very straight going down in. Let me back this camera up just a little bit so you can see that. Here we go. Let's make an adjustment right like that. Now, I'm going to set up the pull right here. Look at my arm. If it's way over like this or over like this, it'll pull my cylinder. It has to go straight down in. And I'm up, up, up. This is harder because I can't brace that arm against my body. So the rest of me has to be really braced. As soon as I can get my thumb over and touch down, I do it. Now, up here, when you're getting thinner, you want to lighten up your pressure of your pull, because if you don't, your pot will get really thin at the top. If you have unevenness up here, that means somewhere in here you did not go a full revolution around. You moved up prematurely. So if you did that, come down to the bottom, set up your pull, and just rectify it. Picking my wheel speed up, picking it up a little more, moving a little faster for efficient throwing. Sometimes you have your wheel speed going so slowly that it causes it to twist right in here. That's something that happens when you're first learning. So pick that wheel speed up just a little bit to help keep that from happening. Okay, let's see what we have now. That looks like I'm a smidge, maybe a 9 3/4 inches. But this is 3 pounds of clay, so I should be able to get taller than that. Now I'll tell you, if you're just new at 3 pounds of clay and you get 9 3/4 inches, you celebrate that. But you can get more. And we're just making cylinders. I'm going to push in, pick my wheel speed up, and up I go. I'm going to choke this in just a little bit. And up I go. Holding center, holding center, holding center, holding center, holding center. Now look down here. It sagged just a little bit, didn't it? If I did a good job throwing this cylinder, I should be able to come right below it and compress it in, holding center with full revolutions, and fix that little bulge. Did you see that? And the whole pot is still on center. So now I'm going to take this rib and compress this cylinder. I'm pushing the wall. The rib is not straight into the pot. It's turned at an angle. And I'm pushing the clay out and into this rib. I've got a good wheel speed going, so I can move up fairly quickly, but it's still full revolutions all the way around. Little bit of slip came off of the pot. That's a good thing. That's compressing the wall of the pot. I'm going to push out again into the rib. Here I go up. Here I go up. I'm pushing out into the rib. This is making that clay really strong. It's getting all the water off of my cylinder. It looks pretty good. I see a smidge of water up under there in the floor, so I'm going to go get it. Don't leave water sitting in your cylinder. It will present problems. Problems like cracking, problems like too much shrinkage. That is 10.5 inches. It is 4¼ inches wide, 3½ on the inside. It's pretty wide. Let's get a little bit more, shall we? Now, I want you to celebrate, absolutely do a happy dance if you have been trying to get a cylinder and you get one of this size. But let me see if I can't just make it a little bit bigger, taller, and then we'll cut it open. I'm going to set up my pull, and up I go. If something feels really precarious, and throwing finish does, you can stop at any point and gently take your hands off and compress down below to help keep your pot stable. I've got my clay a little too dry, so I'm going to put some moisture on it, and here I go up. Slowing my wheel speed down just a smidge. See that little play right there? I'm going to go below it and push my inside fingers out just a smidge. My outside hand holding center, and hold center right through that little sway that I had right there. And guess what? Clay will remember, and it remembers right back to center. I'm lightening up my pull up here so it doesn't get too thin. Feels a little thinner right here than down there, but that's okay. We'll cut it open and look at it. You want to? I'm compressing all the way to the top. I'm going to clean the moisture off this bat. Now, let's see what the height is now. I'm at 11 inches. I'm 4¼ inches wide on the outside diameter, 3 5/8 on the inside diameter. Now I'm going to take a little bit of clay off of the bottom. Remember, the beveled edge is pointed towards you. That way, the clay will move away from the pot to the outside of your wood knife. Once I've got the wall straight, I'm going to take and put my wood knife down low and do a little undercut under the pot. That gives you a nice area to get your cutting wire under. I've got a little water in the base, in the floor, so I'm going to go get it now. There we go. All right, let's cut it open and see what we have. It's 11 inches tall. Here we go. When you cut your pot, and I hope you'll cut some open and look at them, You pull tightly against the floor with the wire towards yourself, and then you go straight up. And if you've not used too much water, it should stand up on its own. That is a beautiful even wall. Can you see it? Practice, practice, practice. You'll get good at this, I guarantee you. Use this video over and over again if you need to. Throwing a wonderful cylinder will really set you up to make so many fabulous pots. I hope you enjoyed this video.